What is something you never realized about yourself until someone pointed it out? I never noticed that I had a resting angry face. I work at a restaurant and I see new people come and go and I've always wanted to get to know them but they never interacted with me. Then one day a server came up to me and said, "You know, when I first saw you I was afraid of you because you always looked so angry. Ever since then I've been more mindful of my RBF." Same. A lot of people have told me they thought I was mean when they first saw me. Now they think the RBF is funny. It can be a gift though. When I was in retail I'd use it to make my line go quickly when we were packed. When talking thinking, I look around sometimes, usually distracted by something moving or just looking while thinking of a word. This part I knew. What I didn't know was when doing this, or looking back to the person I am talking to, one of my eyes does not track the same way. For example, if I'm looking back to the left where the person I am talking to is, my right eye moves from right to left seamlessly and smoothly. However, my left eye may do a sudden roll, look up, and then move to the left. I went to a neurologist a few years ago for an issue with numbness when I lift my arms above my head. I have an extra set of cervical ribs which put pressure on the carotid and a nerve. And he noticed it the second I introduced myself and asked about it. He said he wanted to take a look at it as well, but we never made it that far. Still kinda wonder what it is. I'm curious about what that is now. Please go back and update me. That I talk with my hands. The more I'm into the conversation, the more I flail my hands around. I got conscious about it that every time I find myself lifting my hands mid-convo I just pause. Own it. When an acquaintance goes in for a hug, I awkwardly say, "Oh, we're hugging." Okay, every time. Didn't even notice until my husband pointed it out. Mayo, I'm gonna start using that. Every time I read those posts that are like unclench your jaw and relax your shoulders, I realize that my jaw is clenched and my shoulders are tense. So unclench your jaw and relax your shoulders. Guys, why are you spying on me? After speaking, I sometimes end up repeating what I had previously said, but by mouthing it silently. My sister is the only one who has pointed that out, so she might just be messing with me. I used to do it. I just kinda grew out of it, but I still think about what I had just said and analyze if it was correct. Anxiety is a B. I don't finish my sentences. The last is implied. It's totally weird. My husband and kids pointed this out. I then notice that my siblings speak the same way. I sometimes do the same. Like, my mouth, or rather my tongue, is too lazy to say the rest of the sentence. So I say, "The dirt in the corner. Should I leave it or?" And just leave it at that. Sometimes people get frustrated and I get frustrated because I have to repeat the entire thing again and add the missing piece. My brothers and I do this. My sister doesn't. Someone called me the queen of leaving people on read, which was a shock. BC, I didn't have a phone that did read receipts and I thought I annoyed everyone and they hated me and didn't like to hear from me. So, I thought I came off as needy and texting too much, annoying, not cold and distant. When I was still in high school, I could be very thoughtless and rude. I'd just say things without any thought of how they might make others feel. One day my brother came home from college and literally tackled me in the hallway outside my room, pinning me to the floor to inform me of this. I have no memory of what prompted his action. Probably something I said to one of my younger siblings, or his exact words, but it had a profound effect on my life. I didn't immediately do everything perfectly, but after a decade or so I finally figured things out. I still probably say things I shouldn't. Well, definitely, but far less often. Terry Tate, household linebacker. I open my click pens while whacking them against the area between my shoulder and my chest, and close it the same way. I don't know how or when this started, but my friend looked at me really weird when I first did it in front of her. I do the same thing but with my forehead. I was told by an ex-BF that I have a caveman shaped forehead. I always knew my eyebrows were kinda shaped weird, but I could never figure out why. It wasn't until he pointed out the big ridge across my brow bone that I really noticed. It makes my eyebrows really enhanced and angry looking. It's so obvious to me now, I couldn't believe I never noticed it. But honestly, I wish he never pointed it out because it's not something you can fix, and I'm just stuck viewing myself as a caveman now. It sucks how the bad stuff always stick with you much longer than the good. Update. I didn't realize how many people would relate. Some of these comments were hilarious and brightened my day, thank you. That I have a terrible attention span and my mind is thinking of a million things in the background when I'm having a conversation. And I'll end up randomly and abruptly changing said conversation to something completely different. Yep, my mind works like a game of connect the hyperlinks of Wikipedia. How I can get really passionate about something and dedicate 100% of my time to it, and then suddenly just say nope and never return to that idea. Like, I can't just keep things going on a slow and easy pace. It has to be everything or nothing at all. And once I'm done, then I'm done. Never looking back. Pretty annoying. My best friend, D. To a catchy tune. Another ADHD symptom. I didn't know I was experiencing hypomania till a friend confronted me. I have bipolar too, and while I'm always very aware depression when it's happening, it's hard to recognize when I'm on an upswing. Once it was pointed out though, I was all, yeah, I guess I have been sleeping 2 hours per night all week, drained my savings on a new hobby, and I'm making plans to move across the country. I'm getting better at recognizing symptoms now, and meds help a lot. That I tend to interject things a lot while others are talking. The reality is, it's just me pinpointing all the details I remember about the story, but I didn't realize it was irritating until recently. Now I try to stay as silent as possible, and I haven't seen my friends in a while because of it. Try explaining that to your friends. Maybe they'll understand. Didn't realize this till I got told by my parents when I was a kid. When I concentrate really hard, mostly when playing video games, I subconsciously have my tongue out to the left. Me, too. My senior yearbook has a picture of me playing volleyball. I'm jumping up to spike a ball and my tongue is hanging out to the left. Had no idea I did that. My son does it too. I repeat things people say that I think are funny immediately after they say them. I think it's just me processing humorous things. I was told in college that it's really annoying. I realized I typically say it quietly as I laugh. Now I catch myself. Interesting thing, my husband does the exact same thing. I think it's endearing. My father does the exact same thing, but he'll phrase it like he was the one that thought of it, and has no idea he's doing it. Few months ago my so pointed out I don't actually do things for fun. I do stuff I enjoy to pass the time, but passing the time is always the goal, not the enjoyment. So that's probably gonna make a therapist richer someday. Now I'm not sure whether I do things to enjoy them or pass the time. That when walking alongside someone, I feel the need to have my arm slightly touching their arm. I don't know why I do this, but I can't seem to stop. Just full on hold their hand. I have partial face blindness. I cannot put a name to a face with celebrities or people I see semi-regularly. Even with people I see just about daily, I straight up just don't notice if they make some kind of change. Haircut, new glasses, whatever. I didn't really notice until someone started kind of teasing me for it. So far it hasn't been too much of an issue except for not complimenting a haircut or something. I am never satisfied with accomplishing anything. For me, something even as simple as finishing a puzzle doesn't sate me. My mentality is more like what's next, I always gotta stay busy. Take up weed pulling for a hobby, you will never finish. I never noticed that until my therapist of 4 years pointed to me softly that I'm quite narcissistic. After thinking about it I realized that yeah, I am narcissistic AF in some aspects of my personality. After telling some of my close friends they weren't impressed at all, they just said well done. I'm a terrible singer. I thought I was going to be a star cause I could remember the words to like every song. And to my ears I sound like a cross between Johnny Cash, Elvis and Dr. Dre. Then someone told me how much I suck and played a recording for me cause I suck that bad. Dang. That would be a hard truth to give. 10 years ago, Someone noted that I often complete sentences for others. I realized how rude and pretentious that must sound, so I quit. I meant it to be a "hey, I totally understand what you mean," but it actually came off as I don't care enough to actually listen. So I'll just assume your thoughts, feelings. There was a linguistic article posted somewhere on Reddit a few days ago mentioning different regional parts of the US finishing other sentences, which brought all my cringe memories flooding back. My husband does this all the time, except that he's very rarely right about what I was going to say, so every conversation takes twice as long because I keep having to listen to his version of the sentence and then tell him what I was actually going to say. When I'm focusing intensely on something, I have a serial killer or an angry looking face, and it makes people at work think twice before approaching me to ask anything. Was told by a co-worker when I noticed her step and then go back. I'm apparently very blunt and truthful when giving out advice. I often wondered why people kept asking me for advice when I clearly looked and sounded exasperated. Apparently it's because I slammed them with the truth in an effort to make them go away. I have a massive head. A few years ago I went to that slide at Stratford, London, the one near the Olympic Stadium, and they give you helmets for going down. They had to get an extra large one for me because none of the helmets would fit over my head. Now it just doesn't go away. Also apparently my accent is hard to pin down. Many think I'm actually Canadian or American when I speak. I actually am British with a New Zealand father. I was told I seemed pretty confident and comfortable most of the time. A friend had known me up to that point. Kind of hit me, because I rarely feel what I think of as confidence or anything like that. Said he always respected it in me. That my joints aren't normal. Turns out I have hypermobility but never realized it as my parents and sister have it fully or some degree of it. It was only at the gym and my gym buddy and my trainer asked what the frick was wrong with my elbow. Turns out the inner elbow shouldn't face forward when leaning on a bench. I have this. I am super careful in the gym to never lock my joints or even extend them fully. It's made a positive difference in my injury rate. Now I understand. I don't speak, at all. It took my girlfriend telling me to say something about 20 times before I realized it. I can be silent for a whole conversation, release the occasional giggle, say goodbye, and leave. That I'm good at explaining stuff. I've always thought everybody was bored when I talked about a subject of my interest. Turns out they were just really focused on following. Just realized this when my girlfriend told me not to stop explaining, because she started to understand something her teachers failed to explain to her. I walk with a subtle limp. I never really noticed it, although I broke my foot in basketball. They say that it looks like I'm dragging my right foot instead of actually stepping. Apparently, when I play violin I suck my cheeks in like a fish. Watched myself in a mirror one day and sure enough, I do. My fiancé pointed this out to me. When I'm asked something, I go into elaborate detail instead of just yes or no. Example. Fiancé, do you want me to set this monitor down over here? Me. Yeah, because I plan on making this room into a sweet looking gaming office. I'm going to put my PC over here and bring in my big speakers and hook them up to this cool amp I got a while back. Maybe even put my surround sound in here. See, look. This is how it will be once it's finished. Oh, and this is going to be awesome too. I'm going to add. I'm sure you see where this is going. My mind is 100 steps ahead of my mouth. I was just told by my GF last night that at prom my butt was quite prominent and I had no idea that the pants were that tight. And I also never knew I had a nice one. At least it didn't go unnoticed. That I am actually attractive to others. I've always had very low self-esteem and never very much confidence in my appearance. So I never really tried too hard with my appearance. Then I got my first boyfriend and he told me he thought I was very beautiful and apparently his friends thought so as well as 2 of them liked me and wanted to ask me out as well. He just got to me first. And this all happened the year I cared for the least about my appearance. It still seems unrealistic when I think about it myself and I don't blame you if you don't believe it. But it did help me gain confidence and start caring about my appearance more. I avoid conflict until it was pointed out to me. I thought I was insanely lucky in having led such a conflict-free life. Nope. Apparently it's just me. Sees friend and best friend fighting. Walks away. I never give myself any credit. They say that I always seem to downplay my accomplishments and don't think that they're meaningful. I just don't want to come across as a stuck-up and boisterous when others have their own set of unique accomplishments. I guess that's what happens when you're taught to be humble and to never be complacent. Apparently I'm actually quite good looking. Being bullied for years made me feel very self-conscious about so many things, but I've been told on multiple occasions now that I'm handsome and have a nice style, and it makes me feel so much better and gave me back a lot of confidence. Late bloomers rejoice. I was bullied, was an ugly teenager, acne, braces and all that, without any shred of self-confidence. Took me a long time to believe I actually look good. It's still weird tbh. I thought I was just a hardcore introvert. Turns out, experiencing nausea-inducing dread before doing anything such as going to work, at a job I love, or even hanging out with my best friends is not normal. I never wanted to go to school, with no rational reason either, but was just told by my parents to suck it up. Nobody wants to go to school work. I always believed it, never even considered that my experience was abnormal, and I certainly never heard of any anxiety disorders. I like movies based on the actors that are in them. I literally can't describe a movie without saying the guy from is in this. I try too hard to cater to other people, even at the cost of myself. Even after being told I do this, I caught myself doing this with a new co-worker I've been training. After she failed to show up to several shifts, I'm done rearranging my schedule for her. Had an ex tell me, you make up stories about how people are or how you think things are, and then you manipulate things to make those stories come true because you want to be right. That was eye-opening. Definitely something I do and harder to stop doing than I expected. I'm involuntarily controlling and manipulative. Wasn't pointed out till my girlfriend broke up with me after 1 year and went off, and boy do I feel horrible still to this day after almost a year. That I can't sit still. I mean, sometimes I realized that I was wiggling around, but after a few months of dating, my fiancé mentioned that I genuinely am never not moving in some capacity, fidgeting in my seat, swinging my leg, etc. And since then I've become a little more conscious of it. I guess just because I was so used to it I never really noticed before. That I pull my sleeves up to cover my hands when I'm nervous, and if I'm wearing short-sleeved shirts I just rub my hands. Now every time I go for my sleeves I'm like, ah, okay, this is a stressful moment. When I was 19 a group of girls walked up to me and said, "Yeah, no, you look disgusting." I replied with accurate and walked away. Ha arachnids a bee. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.